Sasa, Fakii.
Yeah.
Paul, I keep cutting you, but just go to this story.
So let me tell you, one thing that I really wish can happen in the industry is I wish John can give a talk.
Well, I've been asking John to come on sit here. This progress we've made, there's a lot of progress we've made.
There's things John used to do, and I wish DJs would do it right now. Because I would see John working in the background at home, and even when later on we moved to Baricho Road, the things you'd see John doing in the studio. John was, imagine at that time when there were not as many DJs as we expect now, John still used to figure out how does Homeboys come out as a brand bigger than everyone else. Because
like that was calculated. You know, that's the thing that you're saying that is blowing my mind. I'm like, look at the calculatedness of that.
Yeah.
Was it Black Star that everyone had a name Star? No, was it Black Star? Code Red. Even Code Red.
I mean, Homeboys eventually then got into that.
Yeah. But I mean, that was so thoughtful of them thinking Homeboys DJs. And I'm just like, it's a Homeboy. You're like, yeah, you're right. Now, when you think about it from that perspective, you're like, you can do 7 gigs in one day.
Yes. And no one can complain because you didn't say so and so.
Yep.
You see, the effort that John used to put into that, into branding himself, branding the DJs, worked so much. And I think at some point he felt the pain of, you know, that joke of saying he has a back problem because of carrying everyone else. So I think at some point then John decided, as much as yes, there is Homeboys, him as one of the founders has to also come out on his own. So in 2002 or 2003, I think 2002, John came up with another brand. Not another brand competing with Homeboys.
But like DJ John.
On Capital FM, we used to do the show called The Mix. So John, and that used to run on Saturdays, Saturday nights.
H2O.
Huh?
Was that brand called H2O?
No, it was called BPM.
Hold on. BPM was under...
BPM was a show that John came up with. I think even the name, I think it's Mike or John who came up with it. So BPM was a 1-hour show that now John used to flex. Tuesdays on Capital FM, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. John used to flex. John used to make remixes. Yani, you'd see John doing something in the studio, then he looks like he's spending 6 hours on one song. But let me tell you, when he plays that song, you understand. You understand. John would play the song, then call Lucas. Lucas comes from wherever he is, comes to the studio, listens, sits there with him. So you know now they're in a closed session.
Yeah.
But what comes out of that room?
So you're watching all of this happening behind the scenes.
Now me, I'm the guy of, I go back to my days of reading Source Magazine.
Yeah.
But still I used to read Source Magazine. Then now Mike has brought some 2 magazines from UK.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just looking at how people do things differently. So it starts building in you like a new way of seeing things and a new way of a way of you start seeing how to monetize these things. So for example, when after we did Mix Unplugged that first time, to the year 2000, it was sponsored by Sprite and Capital FM. So now after that, we became tighter with Sprite. So we started doing things with Sprite.
Oh man, this is crazy.
Now, especially after that gig, Mix Unplugged, then Homeboys opened a school. Started putting together the idea of a school.
A DJ
school. So at that point, the DJ school was a bit haphazard. So it used to be, there was an office that Homeboys had at the mall in Westlands. Mike was was ahead of his time. So Mike had this idea of doing a shop where you could sell, like, it's like vintage stuff to do with music. The shop was called Hard to Find at the mall. That was the first Homeboys office. That was where I worked from when I joined now officially, January 2001, up until sometime 2002, when now we moved to Baricho Road, to the bigger space. What? But this one was just like a small place. Let me tell you first. So in that office, we used to work 3 people. Me, Pato, although Pato at some point left, and then a third lady.
I know who that is.
You know who that is?
Nimemsikia in a lot of
Unajua nani? Kaleche Mumo.
Yes.
So pia mimi na Kaleche Mumo tumetoa nambali. We used to work for Homeboys back then.
I mean, Fakii, you're still hearing me saying this. I can't believe you have, like you grinded at Homeboys like this.
Hey, there are stories I can tell you about
But the
Homeboys.
greatness that you must have been seeing happening as DJs began exploding, as Homeboys, which was even went into, anyway, endelea to.
Now, so Mike used to bring a lot of these ideas of, can we do this, or he would come with a full concept. And then now I started learning how to write proposals. So I'd be that guy.
So you're no longer Mr. Barrier.
Yeah. No, but I still used to do that. I still used to do that because the beauty about that is when you do a gig for Barriers, Mike would give you some extra chums. Oh, by the way, before Mike bought me and Pato our very first cell phones, the number that I still even have up to this day, we used to be those cool guys in Tao because Capital FM had a sister company called Capital Pagers. Some of those pagers were assigned to Homeboys. When Mike and I think Pete and John now transitioned to cell phones, me and Pato got those pagers. So we're those cool guys with pagers. Imagine you'd get a page, you check Mike Rabat telling you to call him at home or wherever, or telling you to meet him.
Exactly.
Yeah. You go to a booth and you call.
Pagers is literally just an SMS.
Yeah. And it's an SMS for just showing you who you need to call.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't tell you what the
message.
You have to call the person for them to give you the message. So I started writing proposals. So I'd write the proposal for, say, Energize a PlayStation Challenge, and Mike Rabah had already come up with the idea. So now me, I'd write it down, just what he told me verbally. Maybe he's shown me some examples on from magazines, Nini. So I'd write it down, then I give to Mike. Now Mike sharpens it, then we get sponsorship for it. So we did that for Energize a PlayStation Challenge. Then we did that for now the next Mix Unplugged. Then we also did that for DJ competition. So, let me tell you, we started crafting this DJ competition and we crafted it, said the way we want to go around the country, We even did a trial. At Village Market, at the mall, and at Sarit Center. An afternoon, you set up decks, you ask guys, come and try it out, Anyone promising? Namweka.
Because you tried to get them into the school.
That time, it was to try and see, I think it was like, for Mike, I think it was like a feasibility study for the school. But we didn't realize it then. So, we do those runs, Then, we got Sprite interested. So we wrote to Sprite, I remember when we were doing the proposal, I came up with some either long name or shady name or both for the DJ competition.
What is it called?
I can't remember. That's how bad it was. But one day, Mike Rabah just rocked up into the office and told me, Fakii, this is what we are going to call this DJ competition. It's called Stylus. I was like, what? Now, okay, I don't know if people would really see how appropriate that name is.
Yep, because of The kind
because
of the stylus, yes.
It's just that part of the DJ needle on the turntable, nini, you know. So it was such an appropriate name. So we went and sold stylus to Sprite. Sprite gave us tunes. 2002. Sprite gave us tunes. We went around the country. Now,
What?
Yes, we went around the country. It was a tour. And we went around the country 3 times.
What?
Yes. So, and when I say around the country, it was at that time when you were working with Coca-Cola, you'd go around to their bottling companies around the country. So there were 8, including Nairobi. So we'd go for the first one, where we'd go and now just introduce the idea. So we'd do like a daytime thing. And then we register people. And then the second time we go, we do a daytime thing again. The people who've registered plus anyone who's willing to register on the day, they go through the motions, and then we shortlist the people for night. Then now at night, we have a number of people playing, and then we also have now
The
DJs,
Homeboys
party.
DJ, yes.
That's where Kintu came from.
No way.
Mtu analangi
In where? In what city?
I can't remember in what city. What used to happen was, let me tell you, the competition in Nairobi was so tight that
Nairobi
a
and DJs
would go to another place.
Yes.
Like, they would find out from other DJs there, kuna ma DJ wakali huko. You go to Nakuru, or you go to Nyeri, or you go to Coast.
Yeah.
So, we went round 3 times. See, now we are pushing Sprite. Let me tell you, I didn't realize the magnitude of brand ambassadorship until that deal. Because number one, see, we used to carry Sprite along with us.
Yep.
And our deal with Sprite at that time was such that it was an endorsement deal. We even had our branded merchandise, outfits that we used to wear that were Homeboys and Sprite branded.
Yo.
You know that logo for Homeboys with that guy doing this?
Yeah.
A Sprite was required there.
No way.
So that was the work.
No
that
way.
was the work of Eric Ndavi and I think Arnold Lakita. They just
Some crazy creatives.
Yani just wekaing the Sprite chupa there. So the Homeboys dude was carrying
A Sprite.
Sprite. And Homeboy and Sprite came and branded the studios, Nini.
Because now is when you're moving to Baricho.
We had moved to Baricho.
Okay.
Yeah, then we moved to Baricho. They branded the studio. If you look at, there's a video there's someone's video. I'm trying to remember. Actually, 2 videos. One, I think an Onini video, and the other one is a Sema video. If you look at them, no, tattoo. Sorry, there's a tattoo video that is done inside
And
Club Sprite inside the Homeboys office. There used to be like a small club inside the Homeboys office.
Yeah, where DJ John is DJing.
Yes, that's Club Sprite. If you look around, there's Sprite branding.
Yo.
Yeah. Now, so we went around the country, nini. So it was a big deal. And of course, the culmination of it was the mix unplugged at Splash end of 2001. No, 2001. Huh? 2001, yes. Then, no, 2002, sorry. It was 2002. Now, Mike, again, kuona mbele. Mike brought in a DJ from the UK as the guest DJ for Mix Unplugged and as a guest judge for the national finals, because we did a Nairobi finals, but then now we still did a national finals
because
where
every
we brought
every place you get,
everyone.
yes.
All the winners from the different regions came to Nairobi.
This is crazy.
Let me tell you, I don't know. I don't know if everyone would appreciate this, but me, I love telling this story so much. 2002, DJ Kofi from the UK. He was not known in Kenya except to, I think, maybe about less than 10 people, including John, Mike, and Pinye, because Pinye had played with him or had met him. Now, remember, this is 2002, November. December is elections. December is elections where there was a Rainbow Alliance.
Yep.
Now, DJ Kofi is not a known name, but the power of Capital FM that time. Capital FM was a party. We used to call it a party what? Like when Capital FM tells you there's a party,
you go.
There will be a party.
You go.
There will be. They're not just advertising it because they've been paid. They're advertising it because they know it will be a party. So the Mix Unplugged featuring DJ Kofi from the UK. So that time, see, Mike again has inspired the DJs. So what's the DJ setup at the Mix Unplugged?
Head to head.
Now, because of the competition, and then now the competition, you set up 1, 2, 3, so that when you're moving from this DJ to this DJ, we don't have to start setting up and you stop the party. So as this DJ is playing, then this one can be preparing. So we used to do that. So there was 3 setups on stage. The DJ competition ended.
Hold on. Okay, go on.
So DJ competition is over. It's time for the party now. Haya. There are 3 DJ setups. The DJs to play on that night, there is Monali. I don't know if Styles was still part of Homeboys at that time.
First of all, I didn't even know Styles was part of Homeboys like that.
There is Babu, there is Lucas, there is John. Pete even played at that gig. And then now, of course, Kofi. Now, Kofi checked into the country, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. The gig is Sato. So there's something that happened in between that we didn't know.
Which is?
But it came out at that gig. So, just to give you some background, this was 2002 and
December.
November,
Because
it was the Livers party for like when guys are finished KCC.
Yep.
Now, Unbogable was a big song.
It was huge. Because it was the theme song for Rainbow Alliance.
Exactly. Now, DJs back then, I mean, even until now, they still ask artists or producers to give them the 3-piece vocals, instrumentals, and the track. One person who would never give you that was Ted Josiah. Never ever. And especially for a new song like that. So let me try and paint this picture. So I'm standing on one side of the stage. So the stage is set up such that there's staircases on both sides. So I'm standing on one side of the stage, just at the staircase. The MC, I can't remember who it was. The MC introduces DJ Kofi from the UK. So Kofi is there on the main whatever in front. I think Lucas was at one at the back and Babu was at the other one. At least I remember the 2 of them. And the one person I can never forget who was coming up the stairs was John Rabah on the other side. DJ Kofi starts playing. He starts playing Tupac, Do For Love.
You even remember the song.
So Tupac, so first he says, something like, not verbatim, something like, I hear Rainbow Alliance is the big thing in the country right now. So guys are, What was the sign for Nini for Rainbow Alliance at that time? It was this.
Yeah.
What was the sign for Do for Love?
Yeah.
It was this. So he tells guys, if you're a fan of Rainbow Alliance, put 2 fingers in the air. Tells guys, okay, keep those 2 fingers in the air for. He drops Do for Love. So guys, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Then he scratches. I am unbogable. Let me tell you, the crowd went mad. John, and we joked about it even on that day and after. If there was a photographer, John was caught like this, 1 foot in the air, like what just happened? Because this guy has played with
song,
with vocals.
Yep.
For Unbogable. First of all, you're a DJ who just came from the UK.
Yep.
How do you know about Unbogable?
Yep.
Secondly, how do you have the 3-piece?
Yep.
And we, the biggest DJs in the country that time,
Nada.
don't have it. Let me tell you that thing. I wish someone can
It was a moment.
it.
I get it.
It was a moment I will never ever forget in my life. It was a moment.
And the crowd went crazy.
The crowd went crazy. The crowd went bananas. But I think also 2 things about that gig and what Kofi did that time. Number 1, it strengthened John's John always doing like a remix of songs.
John's craft and so yeah.
It strengthened John's craft because I think he now saw it at a bigger scale there. You know, because I think previously, whatever John would play at the gig, you've already had that version he plays at Kengele's ABC.
Yep.
But now when we saw the reaction there, when we had the reaction, because let me tell you, Do for Love, and then you scratch and weka Unbogable, and then it's on beat. Kabisa, it's a major thing. Kumbe, what had happened? When Kofi came into the country,
he researched what are the big jams here.
He researched, yes. But who helped him?
Ted?
DJ Pinye.
Oh.
Kumbe, he spent time with Pinye.
Yeah.
After the shock of what that guy had done wore off, as we look around, we see Pinye there on the stage laughing. Pinye has this thing of like,
got you.
I got you. I know what this will do. I know what this will do. So when it's done, he now has that laugh like, yeah, I got you guys, you know. So now the Mix Unplugged, as a culmination of the Sprite DJ competition, was so big that we were in such good standing with Coca-Cola.
Here we go. Yes.
We were in such good standing with Coca-Cola. So